And a very good Monday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again, the Older Pain Podcast. Monday, December 29th, 2025. The Joe Benigno Older Pain Podcast brought to you by Manscaped, Carolina Resort Vacation, and, of course, our good friends at Anita Discount Tire. A couple days till New Year's. This will be the final podcast of 2025. Looking forward, of course, to New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and the big college playoff games coming up. Can't wait for that. Very excited about that. With that said, let's talk about my football team. What a freaking disaster. That was non-competitive football yesterday as the New England Patriots came into MetLife and just assaulted the Jets. And, well, like I said, was non-competitive. The defense was non-competitive. It wasn't even debatable. The Patriots scored touchdowns the first 6 times they had the freaking football. It was absolutely a disgrace. I mean, what else can you say? What else can you say? They actually missed a field goal in this game, or it would have been even worse. And I give Mike Vrabel credit for this, because if this was Belichick, he would have put 60 on the Jets yesterday. Because easily the Pats could have put 60 on him, without a doubt. And Vrabel called the dogs off. So give Vrabel credit for that. Belichick, like I said, would have just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. It was unbelievable how bad it was yesterday. And how about the fact that the Jets have now, look at the last 4 games of this season. They lose 34-10 to the Dolphins, who were up 21-0 halfway through the first quarter. They lost 48-20 to the Jaguars. Made Trevor Lawrence look like John Elway in that game. They lost 29-6 to the Saints, who, granted, are a hot team. They won again yesterday. They've won 4 in a row. The Saints look like they got their quarterback and their head coach, but 29-6 to the Saints. And then yesterday, 42-10, a game, like I said, where, they could have put 60, 70 points on the Jets easily yesterday if Vrabel didn't call the dogs off. What a disgrace. The Jets have been outscored by the biggest margin in the history of the NFL in games in December. Think about that. Think about that. The largest margin in the history of the NFL. We just documented the games. 34-10, 48-20, 29-6, 42-10. Are you kidding me? And I understand that they're playing a quarterback who's not an NFL quarterback in Brady Cook. I get that. But the defense is just non-competitive. I mean, the Patriots on the first drive of the game just walked down the field like it's nothing. Missed tackles, no pressure on the quarterback. Unbelievable. They've gone now. How about this? This is another staggering, only the Jets statistic could be. 16 games, no interceptions this year. Is that? Think about that. And they didn't even come close to one yesterday. 16 games, no interceptions all year. How is that possible? This is an all-time brutal team. This might be the worst team the Jets have ever had. I understand they had the 1-15 year with Kotite, in 1996. I get that. Unbelievable. The year they won 2 games with Gaze in 2020 and all of that. This is, I don't think we've ever seen a worse Jet team than this. I really don't. And you tell me, how in the world can Aaron Glenn come back next year? You know what? If we had any kind of a freaking decent owner, here comes my wife on a sneeze-a-thon. If we had any kind of a decent freaking owner, okay, this guy'd be gone. He'd be coaching his last game on Sunday against Buffalo. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Woody Johnson has a chance, here we go, to do something, bless you, to the 50th. If we have a chance to reset right now. We got all this draft capital. Doesn't look like we're getting the first pick in the draft. Doesn't look like we're getting Mendoza. The Giants won yesterday. The Raiders right now have the number 1 pick. They're taking a quarterback. There's no question about that. That's 3 so far if you're counting at home. The Raiders are taking Mendoza. So Mendoza's off the board, okay? But we'll get to the whole draft thing in a second, all right? We'll get to that. Woody Johnson has a chance right now to do what Robert Kraft, who Woody Johnson only in his dreams could believe that he was anywhere near the owner that Robert Kraft is. Robert Kraft dumped Gerard Mayo last year after 1 year. Dumped him. 1 year and he was out. That's 4. 1 year and he was out. All right? Mayo was out. And he brought in Mike Vrabel. And look at this team. 13-3 on the verge of being the number 1 seed in the AFC. And they already have wrapped up the AFC East with Buffalo losing to Philly yesterday. He has a chance. You got all this draft capital. You know, do you want, and even if they don't get their quarterback this year, even if they don't draft a young quarterback this year and they go with some veteran, maybe Malik Willis, somebody like that, whatever they do, Marcus Mariota, Kirk Cousins, doesn't matter. They got to get some veteran quarterback in here. It sure as hell is going to be Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor. We know that, or, certainly not Brady Cook. What a disaster he's turning out to be, but we knew he would be. We knew that. Yeah, for everybody that wants to see Brady Cook, well, you've seen him. All right? Now you know what the hell he is, okay? Woody Johnson has a chance to get a real head coach in here. This team needs a professional freaking head coach. Mike McCarthy's out there. Go get him before the Giants do. All right? The Giants are going to take somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. All right? But if I was Woody Johnson, they should have signed McCarthy years ago when he wanted to be here, right? After they got rid of Todd Bowles. The time has come now to make the move. Let Glenn coach Sunday. I don't care what they do. Buffalo may be laying down because the game means nothing to them now. They're locked into their playoff spot. They can't win the division. So I don't know. Josh Allen's a little banged up. I don't even know if he'll play on Sunday. So who knows? Maybe the Jets actually win a game. Don't count on it. Right now the Jets couldn't beat Ohio State. I mean, let's be honest. Right now, the New York Jets, as presently constructed, couldn't beat any of the top teams playing on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. They couldn't beat Ohio State or Miami. They couldn't beat Georgia or Ole Miss. They couldn't beat Indiana or Alabama. Let's be honest about it. Couldn't beat any of them. That's how bad they are right now. It's a disgrace. It's an out-and-out disgrace. And how do you bring this coach back? He stinks. Why are we bringing him back? I would keep Darren Muji. I would keep him. Let him make the call on the coach. Let him go make the guy. And you cannot bring in another first-time coordinator. And you know what? Look, believe me, would I love to see Rex Ryan here? Of course. And Rex Ryan, I can tell you right now, Rex, you would never see the Jets have the kind of defense that they've put on the field the last 4 weeks if Rex Ryan was the head coach here. Let's be honest about it. You think you'd ever see the non-competitive, disgrace? You think the Jets would have an entire year without an interception if Rex Ryan was the head coach? But I don't want to even go there. Rex Ryan's not going to coach the team. I get it. And that's a mistake by Woody Johnson. He'd be my coach in a second. And I'd go bring in some top offensive coordinator to run the offense and develop whoever the quarterback's going to be. How much longer can we go with Glenn? They need a head coach in here so bad. I mean, he's over his head. He's lost. Non-competitive football. We thought the team, when they, in the middle of the year, when they were making their little move where they won 3 out of 5 games, and they're like, oh, you know what? Look, maybe things are starting to look up, not a yada, yada. They're not looking up. They're worse than they ever were. This, like I said, might be the worst Jet team of all time. It's certainly in the conversation. And how can we bring this guy back? What are you going to do? Bring him back? What happens if they get off to what if they're 1-5, 1-6 next year? What are you going to dump them in the middle of the year? Because you can't keep them if they keep losing games in the beginning of next year. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care what they do in the draft. I don't care who they bring in as a defensive coordinator. They got to get a real defensive coordinator in here too. That would be nice. You know how much I love Bart Scott. There's other guys out there too. Wink Martindale comes to mind. How about him? Yeah, he'd never come here. He'll never work for Glenn. We know that. I doubt that. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how you bring this coach back. I just don't know. I don't know. Woody, it's time to dump this guy. You're never winning with him. He stinks. He's way over his head. He was a very good player. It's a shame that the legacy that we will have now of Aaron Glenn is not the outstanding Jet that he was, but the absolute disaster that he is as a head coach. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It really is. But that was disgraceful yesterday. Absolutely disgraceful watching that football game. 50,000 Patriots at MetLife, Patriot fans at MetLife. What's going on? Really? Really? Unbelievable. I don't know what else to say. It's time to get Glenn the hell out of here. And if we had a real owner, okay, a real owner who knew what he was doing, he would dump this guy now and go get a guy like McCarthy. Go get him now. Go get me a professional head coach. I can't take it anymore. What if the Ravens lose on Sunday? If the Ravens lose Sunday to the Steelers and don't make the playoffs, is John Harbaugh going to be back? I don't know. Probably. But who knows? He might be coming available. I mean, we need a coach. We need a quarterback, but God knows we need a head coach here, number one. And as far as the quarterback's concerned, Mendoza, forget it. The Raiders are going to get the first pick. They're going to lose next week again. They play a broken down Chief team, but the Chiefs are going to win. The Raiders are tanking. They didn't play their two best players yesterday. They didn't play Max Crosby. They didn't play Brock Bowers. And it's not because they were hurt. The Raiders were clear, and Geno Smith got hurt in the game against the Giants. So who knows? I don't even know who the quarterback is. I didn't watch. Once Deontay Banks returned that kickoff for a touchdown and make it 27-10, I was out of that game and actually was doing something a lot better. And then I came back after that to go to watch the end of the, which was a terrific ending to the Buffalo Eagle game. I mean, it's unbelievable. How can you bring this guy back? And as far as the quarterback, right now the Jets are sitting at 3. The number 1 pick is the Raiders. The Giants are 2. The Jets are 3. Now that could change. Could change over the weekend, right? I mean, I don't know. Giants could win again. They play the Cowboys to end the year. The Cowboys season's over. So I don't know. I don't know how that game's going to be, right? I don't know how the Raiders are going to. I mean, I can't believe the Chiefs are going to lose to the Raiders to end the year. But I don't know, especially with the Raiders tanking. So let's assume the Raiders are going to get the first pick in the draft. And let's assume the Giants are 2 and we're going to be 3. You know what? You don't take a quarterback. Unless Dante Moore is sitting there at 3 and you really believe in him, the one thing I would not do, I would not invest any draft capital at all in a quarterback. If Moore doesn't come out, the game plan is very simple as far as I'm concerned. Mendoza is going to the Raiders. I don't know what the Giants are going to do with 2. I guess you could trade up with the Giants if you really felt more. Why would I even do that? I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even trade with the Giants. I would take the 2 best defensive players on the board. I don't know what the Colt pick is right now, but they lost again. So that pick gets better and better all the time. Somewhere in, it's going to be somewhere between 18, 15, something like that. I would use those first 2 picks to take the 2 best defensive players. I don't care what position they play. The 2 best defensive players on the board. That's what I would do with the first 2 picks. From that point, with the 2 number 2s, I would take a receiver, whoever's the best receiver I can get. Maybe even take your best receiver you can get with one of the first 2 picks you have in the first round. You can even do that. And then with one of the 2 picks in the second round, take your top defensive player you can get. And I would draft Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. That's what I do. I would take a shot at him. It's worth a freaking shot. And see what he does. And then next year, if he's not the answer, okay, you draft a quarterback again. You got 3 number 1 picks in the 2027 draft. So I'm not stretching for a quarterback this year. We're not winning the Super Bowl next year anyway. But the number 1 thing you got to do is get a legitimate head coach in here. And let's stop kidding ourselves that Aaron Glenn is that guy. The guy is lost. I mean, that is a disgrace yesterday. What we've seen over the last month of the season is beyond unacceptable. And I don't want to hear you got to bring him back. Nah, he gets another year. Why does he get another year? Gerard Mayo didn't get another year. There's been other guys that have coached teams that didn't get another year. If you're not any good, you're not any good. And we can't take any more losing. We've had it, man. There's no fan base that has been beaten down more than we have. Stop kidding us, Woody. This guy is not the freaking answer. Get your head out of your ass and get rid of this guy. I'm beyond. That was a joke yesterday. I mean, come on. I wish the Patriots would have put 60 on us. I really do. Because I've so had it with this franchise. I've so freaking had it. I mean, and I'm telling you, this team, you could talk about the 1-15 Kotai team. You could talk about the team in 2020 with Adam Gase that only won 2 games. This is the worst team we've ever seen. I have never seen a worse defensive football team than what the Jets put out there yesterday. Have you ever? Ever? And really, all year long, the defense has been an absolute disgrace all year. Unbelievable. I'm beside myself. I really am. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. But let's stop the crap and get this guy out of here and get us a head coach. Can we please? Woody, can you wake up? Do you want to win sometimes, Woody? Are you tired of getting your ass beat by everybody? Are you tired of getting pissed on by everybody else in the division? Even Miami pisses on you. Oh, I'm sick and freaking tired of it. But now we got to bring Glenn back. He paid him all this money. Woody, suck it up and eat the goddamn money and get us a freaking head coach. Will you please? Let me get the sponsors in here. I can't be more disgusted than I am. All right, Manscaped. The holidays, the Christmas is over. I mean, New Year's. You can still you can still go out and get the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra for New Year's. It's never too late. Maybe your New Year's resolution this year is, hey, I want to look bigger, right? I want to be smooth and I want to look big. I want to be smooth on top and as smooth as possible on the bottom, right? I want to have the illusion of size. So why not go out and be smooth as well? And you know I'm smooth. Now I'm nothing. And I look, am I a good-looking guy? Of course not. You know, some people say, you look like Pitt. And I say, yeah, arm. It really, it's unbelievable how bad it is. How bad I look. I look in the mirror and I say, but my wife, man, she got one eye done, man. That other eye, man, thank God she didn't get that one done. But it's time to give the gift of smoothness. Okay, still, even after Christmas, you can still do it. The Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate upgrade because nothing says happy holidays like a perfectly groomed package top to freaking bottom. That's it. There's no other way to go. Get it done. Head over to manscaped.com. Join the over 13 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use the code PAIN, and I got a lot of goddamn pain, for 15% off your entire order. And I got a new hemorrhoid yesterday from Aaron Glenn. I got an Aaron Glenn hemorrhoid now. It's right next to the Adam Gase hemorrhoid. It's right next to the Robert Saleh hemorrhoid. By the way, Aaron Glenn makes Robert Saleh look like he was Chuck Noll. I mean, it's unbelievable how bad this head coach is. It's unbelievable. Anyway, head over to manscaped.com. Join the over 13 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use the code PAIN for 15% off your entire order. Give the gift of smooth, just like me. I'm so goddamn smooth. This holiday season with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Get 15% off your entire order with code PAIN at manscaped.com. 15% off with code PAIN, manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game. Be ready for anything this season throws your way. Check out Manscaped. Get the underwear. You're going to love them. Get the body wash. Actually, the shampoo and conditioner that you can use as a body wash. You're going to love that too. Get it done. Get it. Manscaped. Come on. 2026 is coming. You don't want to be groomed like it's, 1926. Get it done. All right. Now, if you are looking for a place to go, and I don't know where I am. If you're looking for a place to go, the place to go, I'm going to tell you where you got to go. All right? No, you don't have to go to hell. The place you have to go, I'm telling you right now, is North Myrtle Beach, Carolina Resort Vacation. I wish I was there now. I do. Looking for a perfect vacation spot? Check out the Carolina Resort Vacation OBLV Unit 2. Beautiful North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They got it all. 5 spacious bedrooms, each with a private ensuite. Hello, it's convenient as hell. A fully stocked kitchen ready for family meals or group cooking nights. Arcade-style gaming table with 150-plus classic games. You got to love it. Smart TVs in every room. Entertainment for everyone. Just steps from the beach and minutes from the Barefoot Landing, Mini Golf, Ripley's Aquarium, and the Myrtle Beach Boardwalk, and, of course, all the outstanding golf courses. The unit is freshly renovated, spotless, and spacious, perfect for everything, for family trips, group getaways, relaxing retreat by the ocean. My family was there this summer. They loved it. They had a phenomenal time. It's unbelievable. Whether you're soaking up the sun like I would be, including playing golf, exploring local attractions, just enjoying time together, OBLV Unit 2 Carolina Resort Vacation makes every freaking trip unforgettable. 843-249-6509. CarolinaResortRealty.com. Learn more. Start planning your trip today. 843-249-6509. Tell them Benigno sent you. And if you need anything done on your car, you need tires, you need any kind of work done on it, go see Anita Discount Tire. Beautiful Rivervale, New Jersey, Westwood Avenue. See Johnny, my son, his Saints are looking up. See Ari does a great job, his boss, the whole deal. One of the great mechanics, Rob. Again, Anita Discount Tire, Rivervale, New Jersey, on Westwood Avenue. Now, let's get back to the Yoda Payne. We got a lot of it. Breece Hall yesterday finally went over 1,000 yards, rushed for 111 yards yesterday. Had that big 59-yard touchdown run, which was the only highlight of the game yesterday. You got to keep Breece. Now, I know Breece made some comments after the game. Sounds like a guy that wants to go. If you listen to Bart Scott and Willie Colon, you'd let him go. I wouldn't let him go. I'd keep him. And they should build the offense around this guy. He's only 25 years old. I mean, come on. You're going to let him walk? And he'll turn him into, Saquon Barkley, and he'll be on his way to the Hall of Fame when he winds up in Kansas City or some other place? Is that what you want to see happen? I don't. I would pay him. Give him a 3-year deal. Keep him here. Franchise him if you have to. You got a lot of money under the cap, and you need all the offensive weapons you can get. Let's be honest. And he was underutilized this year. They didn't throw the ball to him enough, and I was happy to see him get his 1,000 and have a big rushing game yesterday and get that big touchdown run. Like I said, the only thing worth seeing yesterday, watching this disgraceful excuse for a football team that we have yesterday with this New York Jet team. Unbelievable. I really can't say anything else. Keep Breece. Keep him here. I absolutely would. I absolutely would. That's it. What else can I say about this team? I'm begging Woody Johnson. Woody, wake up. Smell the coffee. It's never going to happen with Aaron Glenn. Get him out of here. Get him out of here now. And doesn't it make you sick when you look at some of these other first-time coaches? Liam Neeson with the Jaguars. I understand he had a quarterback already in Lawrence there, a young quarterback. They're on their way to winning that division. They're 11-4. It's 12-4. They win next week. They win the division if they beat the lousy Titans, which I'm sure they're going to do in the AFC South. You look at what the Bears have done with Ben Johnson, who was the other, was the offensive coordinator in Detroit, just like Glenn was the defensive coordinator. And how much, by the way, did the Lions miss their coordinators this year, as they are now 8-8 and out of the playoffs? How about that? But anyway, let's get back to Glenn here. Okay, look at what Johnson's done with the Bears. Even though they lost a tough game to the Niners last night, they're 11-5 and they've won the NFC North. Really unbelievable. They're on their way to the playoffs. We got a first-year coach in Glenn, and he's an absolute disaster. Mike Vrabel, now he's not a first-year coach. First year in New England, they're going to have the best record in the AFC. And we got Glenn, and we're 3-13, and we're looking at probably the worst Jet team in the history of the franchise. There's no other way to say it. The worst. I don't ever remember this team being as uncompetitive as they have been this last month. And that's a reflection on this head coach. And I don't want to hear about Steve Wilkes. You fired him, okay? I don't want to hear about Tyler Engstrom. He got very little. Look, the offense, if they had a decent quarterback, maybe, at least they could be somewhat competitive. Cook is obviously not an NFL quarterback. But the defense is beyond. This defense would get trampled by Ohio State. Fernando Mendoza in Indiana would tear this defense to shreds right now. You got to be kidding me. There's really nothing else to say about it. I'm beyond the pale of disgusted. I really am. And I just want to say one thing about the Giants. You know, they won yesterday. They don't need a quarterback. They're not trading Jackson Dart. They're not drafting another quarterback. Dart is the guy. There's no doubt about it. And the Giants are really not that far away. You know, they do something in the draft. They're going to, right now, they're sitting with the number 2 pick in the draft. They do something with the draft, okay? And, you know, you got Neighbors coming back. You got Scatterboo coming back. You know, Abdul Carter started to really play well the last month of the season. You got Burns, who's a top player. And they're not that far away, the Giants. They really aren't, in my mind. So that's my feeling on them. But the Raiders are getting the first pick. Fernando Mendoza is not going to be a Jet. So it's time to pivot. And I'm going to say it again. It's time to pivot. And unless and I'm not even trading up one spot to get Dante Moore. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't trade any draft capital at all. I just would not. Take the 2 picks in the first round, get your best defensive player, maybe get another top wide receiver, take a top pick with your second pick in the second round. Maybe you take Pavia with that other number 2 pick. Maybe you don't even have to. Maybe Pavia is going to slide to the 3rd or 4th round. And by the way, how's Shedeur Sanders doing right now for the Browns? Yeah, they beat Pittsburgh yesterday in a game Pittsburgh had to have in a game that would have won the division for the Steelers. Cleveland beats them 13-6. And Shedeur's played okay. And I think he's going to be their quarterback. And you telling me that my football team could not have taken a flyer on Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round last year? Really? 4th round? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I couldn't be more disgusted right now. That's it. There's no other way to say it. No other way. I'm done. You know, as the great Mark Levin would say, that's it. Done. I'm finished. I got nothing else to say. Everybody have a great New Year's. Happy New Year, everybody. God bless America. Enjoy all the college football. How great is it going to be? Wow, can't wait, man. Miami, Ohio State on New Year's Eve. And then you got all the big games on New Year's Day. Texas Tech and Oregon, Indiana and Alabama, Georgia and Ole Miss. How great is the college football going to be? Off the freaking charts. And then next week in the NFL, you got the really 2 big games for the division title. You got Pittsburgh and the Ravens, which is probably going to be the Sunday night game in Pittsburgh. And then you got the Bucks and the Carolina Panthers. I believe that game's in Tampa, and that game will be for the NFC South title. Enjoy it all. As I said, Happy New Year, everybody. God bless America. All the love, all of that. I will talk to you next year on Friday.